2019, 21-year-old Samantha Josephson was a senior at the University of South Carolina. She was a brilliant student who aspired to be a lawyer. She wanted to practice international law. She needed to be able to speak other languages besides English. And so during her college years, she had really leaned into Spanish. One of her professors was a woman named Daniela Jaimes. Daniela offered to Samantha to kind of be there for her if she needed anything beyond just Spanish, that she was there to help her with law school applications or if she needed advice on something. And by 2019, in Samantha's senior year, the pair had become very close. On March 29th, Samantha decided to go out with her friends for some drinks. So she, along with her friends, head out to this downtown area called Five Points, which is right near the University of South Carolina. And then around 2 a.m., the group found themselves in a bar called Bird Dog. The group of friends got separated. Samantha decided that she was just too tired and didn't really feel like staying out any longer. And so she texted her friends and let them know that she was going to head back to her room. She hops in an Uber and she starts driving back towards her campus. Several hours later, they realized Samantha was not in her room. They called the police and reported her missing. At the same time that Samantha was reported missing, there were these two men who were in their mid-20s that were located 70 miles to the east of the University of South Carolina. They were out in this forest and they were hunting for turkeys. These two men, whose names were Anders and Ryan, they had no luck actually finding these birds. Around 4:30 p.m., Anders, he finally is just ready to admit defeat and leave empty-handed. Something catches his eye off to the left behind some trees. And when he got a full look at this thing, he yelled for Ryan. As Ryan is running into the forest, Anders is pulling his phone out and calling the police. And then the police officers walk into the forest, and before long, they're looking down at Samantha. 14 hours before, Samantha left the Bird Dog bar and walked out front, and she hailed an Uber. Except that was not an Uber car. That was a car driven by a 24-year-old named Nathaniel Rowland. He was a guy who had been driving around Five Points all night to try to trick people into getting into his vehicle, believing it was an Uber. She couldn't get out again because the doors were child locked. Nathaniel drove Samantha to some isolated area, most likely 70 miles to the east, near that forested area where her body was found. And then once he parked, Nathaniel pulled out a knife and then leapt into the backseat of his car, and he stabbed her 120 times. It would take Samantha over 10 minutes to finally die. Nathaniel was arrested within 24 hours of the discovery of Samantha's body. While he never offered any motive for the crime, it's believed he simply decided that night he was going to go kill someone. Nathaniel was ultimately convicted of her murder and was sentenced to life in prison. Here are the final images of Samantha as she climbs into Nathaniel's car.